Dobry den from Prague. Beautiful day in the city. Wow, have to salute good soldier Czech. Okay, we're gonna go take a little walk down memory lane here in the neighborhood. Perfect day for a walk. And so, not sure how many people know this, but the word robot was actually invented in Czechoslovakia, the former Czechoslovakia, back in 1920. It was invented, well, written into a play by Karel Čapek. The word itself was invented by his brother and given to him to replace a different word in the play. I forget exactly. But the two brothers actually lived here in this house in Malá Strana in Prague. It's where Karel Čapek wrote the play RUR, which stood for Rossum's Universal Robots. The word itself, as I said, it was actually invented by his brother Josef, and play was written in 1920 and actually went to international fame in 1921. And so they lived at this location, I think, until the 1930s, and then moved across Prague to Vinohrady. But yeah, so Elon Musk, all the AI fanatics out there, this is where the word robot was invented, in Prague, the former Czechoslovakia. Perfect day for a walk. Beautiful architecture, great weather. I've been coming to Prague. Well, I've lived here for 5 years, but I've been coming here for almost 22 years. I've never ever seen this church, this little chapel church, open in the area, but kind of cool, very old. This now cannabis shop. This used to be our favorite pizza place before. It was great. Actually, really beautiful basement in the bottom, but this used to be actually a window where the garage is now. Used to be Pizzeria Felicita. Take a little walk down here to the Vltava River. Great views. See the National Theater there in front of me. Legion's Bridge. Great views of the Charles Bridge. Seeing we're back on memory lane here. So this park across from me, well, this island was actually where the Australian band INXS filmed their 1987, 1988 hit Never Tear Us Apart. So if you actually go watch that video, you'll see the park with the theater in the background. I actually was living in Australia when unfortunately Michael Hutchins passed away at age 37. I believe it was 1997. And he passed away at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Double Bay in Sydney. I remember the day like it was yesterday. Really sad. What a talent, what a great band. So yeah, so there's the location. INXS actually filmed a number of videos in Prague, so you can go out there and search on those on YouTube and be able to check those out. Gonna walk into Kampa Park. Photo here, or mural of former President Václav Havel. Actually, another funny story is back in the 90s, I was in Philadelphia. We had brought friends, was living the East Coast, brought friends to Philadelphia, and walked and saw there was a square full of people with a man giving a speech. It was actually President Havel at the time. So little did I know, some 10 years later, a little over 10 years later, I'd be visiting his country, and 20 some odd years later, living in his country. Kampa is a great park to come, spend time, lots of cafes, museums, restaurants, bars. Let your dogs run free. Tons to do in this area. Kavárna Mlýnská. In the summertime, that is a nice terrace area to sit on, enjoy the weather outside. Surprised it's not open yet, but it still does get a little bit cold. Let's go check it out inside. So the bar top that I was just filming was actually made by David Černý, very famous artist and from Prague. Has artwork all over the Czech Republic, but I'll put the video link. I have a lot of, actually a tour of all his stuff here in Prague. and you'll hear me reference him a lot because his artwork is actually all over Prague. So, but that bar top was commissioned and made by David Černý and put into the cafe. Actually cool, lots of mementos. I think I showed a picture of his ID when he was in New York. So yeah.
Rozumím, vy tady budete pendlovat, rozumím. Dobře, že jdete. V pondělí malujeme, takže jste to stihl opravdu celá napisno. Ne. My tady většinou nemáme takhle výzdobu a většinou to jsou jednotlivý ty obrazy. No.
On mě říkal, že mu tam scházejí ode mě nějaká fotka, kde je Sněžka s nějakýma zamrzlejma.
Okay, gonna have a little piping hot caffeinated beverage. Czech dessert. Actually, I don't remember the name of this, but it's whipped cream, and these are little wafer cookies that you dip into the whipped cream. I'll get the official name from my wife and put that into the final cut. But want to dedicate this piping hot caffeinated beverage to Adam the Woo. Not sure how many people follow Adam, but unfortunately Adam passed away at the end of December. So wanted to have this. I'm normally not a coffee drinker, but his videos and what he did actually resonate a lot with me, and want to pay a little piping hot caffeinated beverage for Adam. Hope you rest in peace. We miss you. Wasn't any good? Nah.
Ještě jedno? Ne, okay. Vůbec nic moc, ale Sněžka tady opravdu jako není.
More all the knickknacks that
Mějte se moc hezky, naschledanou.
Černý put in. It's kind of it's a time capsule, if you will. Another one of these.
Ale jako
This beer is actually excellent. It's from a brewery across Prague. Great restaurant, great beer. I mean, really good beer, and they serve that here. So this is definitely a place, if you're in Prague, coming through Kampa Park, you want to check out. Really great food, actually great sandwiches, salads, and a piping hot caffeinated beverage. So yeah, I was really sad about Adam. I mean, what a talent he did. If you hadn't heard of him, he actually had a YouTube channel, did vlogs actually every single day for I don't know how many years. But yeah, I actually follow his dad now, JWW on the move. So Mr. Williams, for you and your family, my condolences. You're in my thoughts and prayers a lot. Very sorry for your loss. Thanks for all your positive messages every single day or every few days that you're coming out with your videos. Very inspirational. So yeah, I wanted to share that little tribute. view of St. Vitus Cathedral, Prague Castle there up the hill. There's a Kampa Museum if you're into art. Great museum to come to, check out. So this monument is actually a monument in tribute to all those who stood up against communism and the invasion of the Soviets in 1968. It's actually new, so I had to look it up here to get a little bit of context behind it, or it's I think a year or so old. From a Soviet tank, all the people who suffered during that time. So this is actually Miminka. These are were actually more artwork created by David Černý. As you can see, everyone likes to come here, climb on the babies. But originally, those, the babies, Miminka, were made, and if you go see Žižkov Tower, you will see those babies actually climbing up the tower. So they commissioned David Černý actually to make those, to make the tower a little bit more appealing, because it's quite an eyesore. So pretty funny. You go there, you see the babies climbing up the tower. penguins. These light up at night. Guide the ships in as they go through the locks over here. Bridge. It's a couple years old. Go over there, that's the old town, new town, old town side of Prague. We're over here right now in Malá, Strana, lesser town. It's actually the area I live in, so not too far from here. So it never gets old walking in this area. Kampa. Go over here. Actually, this place in front of me here is a little community center, and in the summertime on Monday nights they have get a lot of the local musicians will come out, sit around, play music, sing Czech folk songs. They serve beer, wine, soft drinks, but the beer is inexpensive, not cheap, but inexpensive, meaning it's good beer, quality. This is a very famous tree. It's actually historically protected. I'm not sure exactly how old it is, but as you can see by the fence around it. I'll get the details, put it in here in English, but it's old. I mean, it looks like 1700s or so. It's all in Czech.
beyaz yapıyı görüyor.
This metal thing here, this is actually when the river rises too high, these are the flood barriers that get put up. Because in 2002, there was a really bad flood, and now they installed these and helps divert the water so that the city doesn't flood. Closer view of the Charles Bridge. I have a video on that. I'll actually put it in the description of this video in case you want to check that out. I actually did a walking tour of that at night. Sit out here, have a beer, check out the bridge. The boats are starting to run again. Actually, just a couple more details about the bridge real quick. So it was actually constructed, or the construction began in 1357 under King Charles IV. Before the bridge was actually constructed, there was really no way to get from one side of Prague to the other. And one of the techniques they actually used to build the bridge was actually incorporating eggs into the construction. So medieval stone arch bridge, a little bit old. So lots of restaurants and cafes in this area. Different time of year, different times of the year, they'll have kind of little festivals or markets. And Christmas time, there's a Christmas market here. So it's really pretty. All the trees are lit up. Big Christmas tree here. You can come here, sit, have a beer. Charles Bridge. So this memorial actually is really cool. A lot of people might just pass it, not see it, but this actually was a memorial that was put up by the firefighters in Prague 1 in memory of the New York firefighters on 9/11. I'll try to zoom in here on the sign. So it's actually really cool. Great memorial. So if you're walking by Charles Bridge here, come check it out. Nothing says tourism like marijuana shop. Marijuana is not legal in the Czech Republic, so it's not marijuana. Just a gimmick. Another water mill. Looks like they're repairing the Czech burger. Check it. Never been there, but I can't imagine it's cheap in this area. Burgers are my favorite food, and I have my go-to places in Prague. Střídačka, the hockey bench over in Old Town. Kapitán.
Ahoj.
Petrin Tower. Actually, a friend of mine from the UK, when he was over here, he said, look, replica of Blackpool Tower. So there you go. Now every time I see it, I laugh. Replica of Blackpool Tower in the UK. Seen that. Looks like memorial to a Czech airman who served in the RAF. I think there was over 300 Czechs that actually served in the RAF. There's a really cool memorial over in near Malostranska Square. played a pivotal role in the Battle of Britain. Aperol spritz, nothing like it on a summer day. Another good cafe. She makes desserts in there that are actually out of this world. These fruit desserts that actually look real. You can't tell the difference between it and a piece of fruit. Pretty unbelievable. There's the mayor. Trees are in bloom. Not far now, not long. Ducks are out. City council meeting. So this is the Sokol gymnasium, and the Sokol movement actually started in Prague in the 1800s, and in the 1900s it was so big that they needed to build a stadium to hold their events. So Sokol was a gymnastics organization, and so on the top of Strahov they built a stadium that held 250,000 people, where every couple of years they would hold sleds that where these gymnasts performed in unison. It was massive. I actually have a video on that as well up at the Strahov Stadium. But unbelievable stadium. It was actually the biggest stadium in the world until 2010. It's now fallen apart, unfortunately. It really should be restored to some degree, but that's actually where Sparta Prague, the football team, have their practice facilities. The pitch holds 9 full-sized international soccer fields. So I'll put that in here as well, and you can check it out. But this is where Sokol, the Sokol movement was born, if you will. And it still is a gymnasium today, indoor swimming pool, all sorts of other things you can use in here. Really cool. So this statue, this is actually, seeing we're on the topic of David Černý today. This is the statue called Věra. It was built for the Paris Summer Games and actually showcased out in front of Prague House during the Olympics. But the statue is about Věra Čáslavská, who was a famous Czechoslovak gymnast who won multiple gold medals, multiple medals in both the Tokyo Games as well as the Olympic Games in Mexico in 1968. So if you kind of see here, normally, or at times, this statue is moving, but you can see that as it moves, the positions of Věra will change into different gymnastics events. So Věra passed away in 2016, but she actually played a big role with David Černý in kind of coming up with this concept. And again, this is the type of work that he does. His most famous work in Prague is actually the Franz Kafka head on the other side of town, but you can see in the video that I did that he has a ton of stuff all around Prague. Some of it quite provocative, some of it very funny. But I actually love his work. I think he's amazing. He has a great art museum over in the Smíchov area as well, that if you're really into art and statues, you should go check that out. It's very interesting. But Věra Čáslavská, highly decorated Olympian, world champion, everything. I think she's one of 3 gymnasts still to this day to win, I don't know how many medals in Olympic and world championship events, but it's a lot. So come check this out. Check out Kampa. Go see some of the cafes, sit and watch the river. Check out the Charles Bridge. This is a perfect area to come enjoy a day when you're here in Prague. Enjoy the outdoors. So that's it. That's the video for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, Mr. Williams, we're thinking of you and your family, your wife, and we miss Adam. God bless. So as I was telling you before, this little extra, this will give you an idea of how big the Sokol sleds were up at the Strana Stadium. People would actually train all over the Czech Republic for these, come together and perform these massive gymnastics events in the Strana Stadium. So again, I'll put that video in the link. You can check it out, but another great thing to come see in Prague. The Nazis, when they invaded, actually took over the stadium and actually executed a number of so-called leaders in the stadium when they took it over. Sokol uniforms. This is still their offices today in this building. Anyway, little extra there, but it gives you an idea of just how big these sleds were. During communism, they took on a different name. They were just massive. Sorry for the noise.